Talk to you guys real quick about something that you may not know about, and if you're ever doing any manufacturing painting. So let's say you got a company that makes parts for cars or parts or something like that, for equipment, and they say, hey, look, in your shop, we want you to paint these parts for us, but we want you to go through this approval process. And what they do is they send out a sample product, and then they tell you exactly the products to use on it. I don't think these guys don't know what they're doing. They'd send you exactly the products you're supposed to use on it. They tell you exactly what you're supposed to do, and then you do a paint sample on the product, and then you send it to them, and they're going to do something called an adhesion test. And you might think, oh, it's just they grab a thing and a razor blade and scrape it or something. No, this is what they do. They take a razor blade, and I'm not going to cut into this because I got to prime this real quick. They'll cut a grid, about a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch apart, a grid this way and this way. And then what they do is they don't use blue tape, but they'll take like a really high tack duct tape type of tape, and they put it over the area where the grid is, and then they do this in several places on the item. So let's say you're taking these grills or something, and you were supposed to paint these for them. They would take these things, and they would go here, and they would go here, and they would go there, random places on the item, so you don't know where they're going to do it. And they'll just take that tape, and they'll put it on there, push it down really good with a vinyl adhesive thing, push it down really good, and they'll just rip it off really fast. And if one of those little squares comes off, you fail. So that's what they do on these adhesion tests. Now I'm going to tell you guys real quick how important it is to read the labels. When I tell you guys this stuff, there's something called technical data sheets on every product, and if you're ever going to do one of these tests, you need to read that thing exactly as it says. So let me give you an example. This is how specific these products are. And a lot of people think, oh yeah, you can just cut corners, you can do different things and it'll work. When you're doing this type of painting where it's manufacturing painting, it has to be spot on. There's no room for error. So if it says on there, test 70 degrees, you better have your shop at 70, not 71. 70 degrees. You better have it the temperature where you're working exactly right. If it says flash time 15 minutes, you do it right at 15 minutes, not at 20 minutes, not at 18 minutes, not at 12 minutes, at exactly 15 minutes. Okay, and then you do your primer, and it says what primer to use, and then you do your finish with flash times, 15-minute flash times over, each coat, and then bake in the oven at so-and-so temperature. You do it exactly as it says, and guess what? It'll stick. If you cut anything, you change any of the specifications on that product, is when you have problems. So this is why I tell you guys about reading the label on products, and when it says something, sometimes, when you're in the field, you can't replicate everything to that. So if you're in the field and you're painting, you can't do exactly what the product says it's supposed to do. So you have to try and improvise and make it work out. So you may have, if you were doing this type of an adhesion test, you're probably going to fail, but you're trying to get it as close as you can. Okay, but the reason I'm telling you this about manufacturing is maybe some of you guys are trying to do something like that, and maybe you don't know how specific it is to do something like that, and how much, if we found that if you do exactly as the label says, the products do exactly what they say they're going to do. If you deviate it at all, it doesn't do the same thing. So anyway, those are just a couple of pointers there. So you can, the reason I'm telling you this knowledge is you can use that in your painting experience, and then read those technical data sheets. Get to know what the product will do and what it won't do, and then you'll have less failures in your house painting stuff. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, subscribe, and yes, you can convert rust. There's a guy who says you can't do that. It's funny. All right, talk to you next video.